Hey guys, what is going on? It is the Crypto Kid, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Bitcoin ETFs. Now, mainly, I'm going to be discussing the CBOE ETF, and is it, in my opinion, going to get approved? What is an ETF? Why is a Bitcoin ETF important, right? Those are really a lot of those questions are coming up lately due to the ETF, right? All the news about Bitcoin's ETF, and many people don't even know why these ETFs are such a big deal and what are they in the first place. So I want to explain that in this video and give my opinion on whether the CBOE ETF will be approved. So let's get right into this. Now, before anything, guys, please like this video if you do like my channel. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications as it helps me out a lot and you guys, so you can be notified when I post my next video. And feel free to follow my social media because I do giveaways there. I do all kind of fun content that is separate from YouTube. So please, guys, follow that as that will help me out a lot too. So let's get right into this now. CBOE ETFs. Currently, Bitcoin is $8,200. It is up about 1% today. Market cap 141 billion, and the Bitcoin dominance is at 47%, highest it's been in a very long time. Total market cap of every coin is 297 billion. So I think we reached a max of 299 billion or 301 billion during this recent bull run. So we're getting right back up to that after a little correction we did have, and the FUD that came out with Winklevoss ETF being rejected, because I'm sure you guys heard that the Winklevoss ETF was rejected. Now, that ETF was actually old news. So this was just news put on to kind of make the Bitcoin's price kind of manipulate it a bit more, because this was already news out, right? And the Winklevoss ETF is really not even the ETF we're looking for. It's not the ETF that anyone thought it was going to be approved. The one that has the best chance of being approved is most likely the CBOE ETF, the Chicago Board Options Exchange. Now, the reasons for that is the Winklevoss ETF. Well, it was ran by the Winklevoss twins. I don't know if you guys know them, but they are billionaires made off Bitcoin, and they actually had some past experience. Well, you might know them from the movie Social Network. It had to do with Facebook's upcoming, and they were kind of the help start Facebook in a way. But Mark Zuckerberg obviously is the founder of Facebook. But yeah, so there's that, and they had to do with that because they went to Harvard, and they're very smart people, and they invested in Bitcoin early, and they became billionaires off it, right? However, the ETFs, or Bitcoin ETFs, were sent in for the Gemini exchange because they own Gemini exchange, a massive exchange, a very good exchange. However, since the ETF was only for one exchange, it got denied, right? And it's been denied in the past. It was been denied last year. So no one thought it was going to get denied this year because the SEC, or the SEC still has the same problems with it, right? They had the same problems. The problems being that the Winklevoss ETF was a lot more manipulatable. Price could be manipulated much more since it's on one exchange. Okay, but the CBOE ETF will be on all kinds of exchanges, so it's going to be a lot more difficult for the price of Bitcoin to ever be manipulated when it's coming from different exchanges. So that's why the SEC actually did not accept the Winklevoss's ETF, but no one thought it was, so it's really not a big deal. As you see, our CBOE source, the Winklevoss denial is irrelevant here. Those that realize that are quickly are the voices you should listen to here. Our submission is equally backed by the principles needed to expect an approval, but also carries the heft of a regulatory agency that is part private sector and part governmental agency. While we are a public company via capitalization, we are still closely tied to regulatory bodies given the need for public trust. They're saying they are closely tied to regulatory bodies, so they see themselves getting approved. However, it is from a CBOE source, so of course they're going to be positive about the ETF, saying it's going to be approved. However, I think they're being transparent here, and I think they're really actually not trying to just get people to think it's going to be approved, because there is a lot of things saying, pointing towards that yes, the SEC will approve CBOE. This is where the SEC will focus its approval or disapproval chops. We still believe that the approval of our Bitcoin ETF product is a near certainty, just a question of timing and potential administrative delays. So they're saying eventually this CBOE ETF will definitely be approved, okay? And hopefully it's going to be approved next month. However, there's other factors, because it may not be the best time for Bitcoin to be approved. But in my opinion, guys, in my own opinion, I believe the CBOE ETF will be approved in the next coming months. Okay, I think it will definitely be approved. It could be delayed. I'm sure the decision will be delayed maybe by a month until September. I think that the deadline is September 19th or something. But yes, that will happen. I believe it will. I think there's an 80% chance the CBOE ETF will be approved. I said in my last video it's a 70% chance, but I believe it is now an 80% chance because of this, because of the community not really caring. They're not really caring about the Winklevoss ETF, right? They did care about it. We saw a price, we saw a correction, or we saw a kind of a fall or dump, but it went right back up. Bitcoin shot right back up, and that's telling me that they don't really care, right? They don't really care about that. Sorry about that. They don't really care about. The community didn't care about the Winklevoss ETF, and that is a good thing. Now, also the SEC commissioner, sorry, Bitcoin is regulated and mature enough to have an ETF. So people are saying Bitcoin is regulated and mature enough to have an ETF, because the whole point that Winklevoss obviously did not get the ETF is because the SEC saw as not being regulated enough, and the price could be much more manipulated. But even people in the SEC are agreeing that it would be much harder to manipulate the price if it's coming from different exchanges. So that's why the CBOE ETF does have a better chance. And also, we have another thing. This document, I would not really trust it that much, just because there's nothing verified. But insiders from the apparently the SEC is saying that the Bitcoin ETF has a 90% chance of approval. So they're saying, they have insiders saying that there is a 90% chance that the ETF is going to get approved, which is good, right? That is a good thing. However, there is no confirmation that this is for sure, right? So I wouldn't really rely on this. However, if that is true, that is a great thing. That is a great thing. And I see 80% chance, so it's pretty close. Okay, so another piece of good news is Hester Peirce. So Hester Peirce is a SEC commissioner, okay? And she's saying apparently Bitcoin is not ripe enough, respectable enough, or regulated enough to be worthy of our markets. So she's kind of making a joke out of that, and she's saying, I dissent, and there's a link to her dissent kind of document where she says what she says. But basically, she says that she believes Bitcoin is regulated enough, and her peers are completely wrong. Bitcoin is definitely worthy of their markets, and it is definitely not hard to it is definitely like not very, the price won't get manipulated like they say it will, because it's coming from different exchanges. It's going to be a lot more harder to manipulate from other ETFs if it was just coming from one exchange like Gemini. So she believes that it is gonna be approved. It should be approved, right? So there's 3,100 retweets on this, 7,700 likes. So the crypto community is just running in here and liking our page, which is good, right? This is a community. This is really good. And by the way, guys, this is not Binance. This is a complete scam. So please, if you're visiting this, do not believe this, because these are just scams. This is not Binance. But yeah, so that is a good thing. Another good thing that the SEC Hester Peirce is kind of with Bitcoin, and she is a SEC commissioner. So I'm sure we'll have her vote, and hopefully she will inspire others, or kind of persuade others to get on her side too, and really see the potential of Bitcoin, see the need of Bitcoin, and why it is such an important thing. So what is a Bitcoin ETF? So a Bitcoin ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's basically a passive investing instrument that tracks underlying benchmark indexes. So some ETFs include NASDAQ 100 index, S&P 500, Dow Jones, and others. So NASDAQ is a very big one. You maybe heard of NASDAQ, and they're very popular. They do all kinds of tracking for stocks and stuff. So commodities, bonds, or portfolios of assets and replicates their performances. So it tracks basically prices and replicates their performances, prices of stocks, bonds, commodities. So ETFs can be traded like a common stock on exchanges, combining the diversified holdings of a fund with the low cost and tradability of a share. So that's just a little brief example. You guys can read the rest of this website if you really want to get into an in-depth ETF. But basically, ETF's a big deal. It is a big deal in America, or just the world, right? And they're used, and they're big things that help to track stocks, and they can definitely help with Bitcoin if Bitcoin is approved, if Bitcoin's CBOE ETF approved, and I say 80% chance that it's going to be approved. That's my opinion. Now, if we go over to here, why is a Bitcoin ETF important? Well, the benefits of a Bitcoin ETF. It will be easier, much easier to buy Bitcoin. There'll be a lower hacking risk. It'll be less complicated, reduces costs and fees, higher liquidity, increase the brand awareness so more people will know about Bitcoin, increase demand, right? Because it'll be much more people wanting it, and with that comes an increased price. So Bitcoin would definitely explode, guys. It's not a secret. If a CBOE ETF, Bitcoin ETF CBOE, will be approved, it's going to be massive. It's going to send the price up to $40,000 probably within no time. And that's my opinion. So yeah, it reduces the cost and fees. Basically, you won't have to send it as many places, right? You won't have to do as many things, as many exchanges won't be needed. It'll be less complicated for the basic investors, for new people, and that is a good thing. And low hacking risk, which is a big kind of why a lot of people don't get into cryptocurrency, because they believe that it's much easier to get hacked, and it is in a sense if you're not careful with your crypto. But if you are careful and you everything is secured, authenticated, then you should be good. And it'll be easier to buy. So that is amazing, guys. All those things will lead to a higher price of Bitcoin and the rest of the market. It's a no-brainer. It's going to send it into the trillions in the total market cap. That is a no-brainer, right? Just because of the powerfulness of an ETF. Now, when the ETF get approved, it might not be instant. It might not to be next year. The ETF really, the benefits of an ETF won't be kicking in, because everyone thinks it will be instant, but I don't think it will be instant. I think it may take a couple months, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, if we go take a look at Bitcoin's chart here, we see that Bitcoin is still in that bull market, still in the ascending channel. The MACD is saying it's still in the bull market. The RSI is very overbought. But the fact that if you look here, guys, this is a really good thing. We're not over the 200-day moving average, so that's still a heavy resistance point as it's been for the past. But it hasn't got as close as it has in the past, so I don't think it really has tested it fully yet. But if you look here, okay, so if we look here, when the 30 moving average crossed the 50-day moving average, usually it's resulted in a down, like a bear market right after that. And we're not seeing that in this case. We're not seeing that, well, yet. But since it's pretty much past it, we're not really seeing that yet. As we saw right past here, when it was at the same point, it went crazy down, right? Same point, it went crazy down. Same point, it went a lot down, right? But now we've got a little bit of a gap in there in between the moving averages, and we haven't seen much yet. However, that could still come. I mean, that's not the best way. That's just what I'm saying, right? And the RSI is still overbought, but the MACD is saying we're in the bull market. But we haven't got over that 200-day moving average, and that will be a heavy resistance point that we need to get over if we want to see more of a successful bull market. And obviously that ETF would send us flying over that Bitcoin we're not flying over, but it would send us over because the full effects wouldn't be, I don't think, would come along for a couple of months of the ETF. But it would definitely, I mean, there's no doubt that people would buy more Bitcoin, right? People would buy lots of more Bitcoin as soon as that ETF will get approved. But yeah, so that is my opinion on the ETF. The CBOE ETF, I think, is going to get approved, guys. That's just my opinion, guys. I want to know what you guys think, so please comment below on this video of what you think. Basically just say, I think the CBOE ETF will or will not get approved, and please explain why, because I want to know what you guys think. And point to articles. Maybe you can even drop links that maybe support your reasonings and stuff like that. So let's create a good discussion, guys, because I love having good discussions with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it as I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys all have a great day, and yeah, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, turn on those post notifications. You know what you got to do, and have a great day. Peace.